other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's only strengthened the relationship, apart from her being in Canada right now, but it's overall a good thing, you know. It's not negative. I think everyone needs to, every content creator needs to experience some of this during their career, because it's important. It gives you perspective on what it feels like, whether or not you want to engage in it when it happens, you know. If someone's getting dogged on, like, you're gonna think twice if you've experienced it before. So it's important, I think, for everyone to get a taste of it. I'm more than happy that this was my controversy.
Well, you didn't really do anything. That was kind of the thing that stopped me.
Right, which is why I'm like, I'm cool with it.
Like,
you know?
but I was kind of, I won't say I was shocked that it became a thing, because knowing the internet, I wasn't surprised, but people somehow found a way to make it seem like you did something wrong when you literally did nothing. So I found that whole thing kind of perplexing. It frustrated me. Were you frustrated by it? You're like, what exactly am I being criticized for?
I think the only frustrating thing was when people couldn't read between the lines in like previous videos. I think a lot of people I made a green screen compilation of me basically saying, look at this slut, look at this whore, and all this shit. And like, people were using that, some people, not everyone, were using that as like evidence of me being hypocritical, as if that's even too much of a bad thing. That's literally everyone. But they were using that as some kind of evidence. I'm like, that was a joke. I wasn't, like, I was saying, look at this whore to a green screen.
Nobody, yeah.
You could put yourself or your grandmother up on that green screen, and that changes the context.
Yeah.
Or a hot dog.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point.
It's just that frustration, I think. I think some people also watched like the Tana Moju content comp and thought like, he hates this type of person. So they're lumping like a general type of person together, where it's like, the amount of times I've seen like the meme where it was like, you were meant to destroy the simps, not join them. It was like a fucking Star Wars meme.
Yeah.
And I'm just like rolling my eyes, like, come on, like, what is this weird expectation? Like,
You were meant to destroy the Sips, Ian. You have lost your way.
I don't know where in the charter of the formation of my channel I said the purpose is to eliminate thoughts, sluts, and simps.
Yeah, I find that interesting. It's almost like they're projecting but this whole thing is like so hateful towards women, isn't it?
It's very chauvinistic.
Yeah, and they're just projecting like their inceldom on you.
Yeah, I think the misunderstanding comes in where, like, a lot of people think that like what we're saying is that you need to be okay with it. Like, you need to be okay with our relationship or whatever. And it's like, no, it's perfectly fine if you don't want that in your relationship. But like,
right, yeah.
That's not what's being advocated. It's not saying this should be the new world order.
Yeah.
Every person's wife should be on OnlyFans.
Right.
Like,
I'm okay with you doing OnlyFans. I think we make a lot of supplementary income.
I thought you said you weren't. I'm okay with you being on OnlyFans.
Who do you think would get more, me or you?
Well, as soon as he thought of the dollar signs, he was like, maybe it's not a terrible idea.
We can supplement our income.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it, right? It's like, in the context of most people talking about this, what I've noticed is a lot of people do the sort of like, what would you do in this situation? And it's like, it's really not important, because it's like,
that's not even in question. No one is talking about you or your relationship.
That's the whole point. It's like, we're fine with people not doing it. If you value the money more than exposing more of your body to the internet, like, then more power to you. That's great. I think that's what Anissa and I value. We're like, oh yeah, we're fine with that.
And I watched Anissa's video about if she regrets it, and I thought it was really interesting that she said it's actually been really good for her, not only financially, which probably has been huge, but even just for her own like self-confidence. and like being more out there and comfortable.
Absolutely.
I can tell as myself, I have a lot of insecurities, so I could understand what she was talking about, and it sounds like it was really good for her. So
That's
really
I think
cool.
the number one thing that people sort of get wrong when they're talking about it, and I would say it's more likely than not guys, or not guys, a person who's in a relationship who feels like not fulfilled, or like they're not contributing their fair share, or whatever the mentality is. I think a lot of people don't get that it's not always about money. Like, money's nice, that's obviously part of the equation, but the other part of the equation is I need something, I want something. Anissa's streaming wasn't going like that well, it's not a fucking rocket ship. She needed to do something else, and that's what she wanted to do. And it's more about purpose. A lot of people would say, iDubzzz is a fucking millionaire. He makes so much money. Why can't he, like, that's sad. That's sad if he can't just pay for her life. Like, what the fuck?
It's so that is
not what it's about.
Missing the point, because she wants to be fulfilled, and I totally get that. And like in our case, it's different because we started together the YouTube channel, but even there was a point before we started Teddy Fresh where Ethan was actually doing most of it. Like, he was doing the editing and he was in the videos, and it felt like I wasn't pulling my weight, and
there was friction.
I felt so restless and like just not good about myself, and it's like, okay, I'll do the dishes because I might as well do something, but this is not my calling, And
totally.
Yeah, but a lot of people online would want your calling to be doing the dishes.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is that it's the same people who would call you a simp. Like, they don't understand that a female relationship couldn't be fulfilled by just being provided.
But also what's funny, if she wasn't like that and she was just fine with using his money, they would call her a gold digger, right?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then she would be that person.
I mean, that was happening for, basically 3 years of our relationship, is people saying that you're just doing this for clout and whatever else. And it's like, if you think she's doing it for clout, you're sorely mistaken, because she hasn't seen a fucking ounce of,
where's the clout? All I saw was
her
only
catching shit.
All I saw was her catching tons and tons of shit.
Yeah,
people are fucking cruel, man. It's probably wasn't been easy for her to be your girlfriend because for the express fact that people are looking for ways to criticize you, and I think by proxy a lot of people saw her as an opportunity to get at you.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, I've seen that over the years. It's just like, there's nothing with you, let's attack your girlfriend kind of thing. And it's like, I mean, she makes it easy because she live streams and she speaks her mind and shit. You guys would know that. But the more, like, I would be in the same fucking situation, guaranteed, if I had as much content out there online as Anissa does. And everyone would be in the same position.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're just putting yourself out there day after day, entertaining people with zero cuts for hours on end.
Right.
You're gonna say stupid shit all the time.
And by the way, for you not to contradict yourself over the course of, like, let's say we've been doing this podcast for over like maybe even 4 years now we've been doing it. A lot of those years was live. Like, this whole the hypocrite label is somehow become like
it's too much of a throwaway statement. It doesn't hold a lot of weight because it's like,
it's like the
I'm a
immediate
hypocrite, okay?
No, you don't even need to like unpack that at all. It's just like, you're a hypocrite. That's like the worst insult you can lay against somebody on the internet for something. And how is it possible to not contradict yourself over 4 years?
Yeah. Well, even as I'm having this, conversation, I'm thinking back into the past at moments when I called other people hypocrites, and I think one of the moments was in, I think this is maybe the only time, in the Keemstar Content Con. And even that makes me like hesitate because to even talk about it
Right.
in a
Right.
more mature, evolved way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, some fucker's gonna
Yeah.
take that shit from that
Yeah.
video and be like, hypocrite. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
It's
it's
brutal.
an absolute minefield.
Yeah, it is, man. That's why it's amazing that you've been beyond criticism for so long. But that
It's
you,
very fucking easy to be without criticism when you don't share anything about your life and you just
You're
attack
very
others.
that's kind of the only way to do it, right?
Yeah. I could have avoided this whole thing. I could have broken up with my girlfriend. Like, that's what a lot of people suggest, right? Like, oh, don't worry, you could solve this whole thing by just breaking up with her.
Can you imagine?
What are you?
What world
Are
do
you
you live
even
in?
human?
Oh my god.
Like, I wonder, would they be happy if you made a content cop on her when she announced OnlyFans? I'm announcing today that I'm breaking up with